Hi, friends. Welcome back to the City of God Families, a podcast from Coral Ridge Ministries and the Institute for Faith and Culture. I'm Pastor Rob Pacienza. Today, we're talking about something really special that's coming up soon, America's 250th birthday. That's right. In 2026, our nation celebrates 250 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It's a big milestone. It means for 250 years, the United States of America has existed as a nation. You may be thinking to yourself, what's the big deal? Why do we even celebrate something like this? That's a fair question to ask. But to answer, let's first think about the celebrations in your own life. We celebrate birthdays, holidays, and anniversaries because they remind us of something important. They help us remember where we came from, what we've been given, and what we value. Celebration isn't just about having fun, although that's a part of it. Celebration also helps us remember what is true, good, and worth giving thanks for. In the Bible, we see this all the time. God's people would build memorials, hold feasts, and celebrate important moments, not just for their own enjoyment, but because they wanted to remember what God had done. During celebrations, parents would tell their children the same important stories again and again, so they would never forget them. In the same way, celebrating America's 250th birthday is an opportunity for us to remember and to give thanks. But what exactly are we remembering? Well, 250 years ago, a group of leaders made a big decision. They declared that this new nation would be built on certain truths that came from the Bible and their belief in God. The Declaration of Independence says that all people are created equal and are given certain rights by their Creator, rights like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That idea was powerful then, and it's powerful today, because it means that every person has value and dignity, not because of what they do or achieve, not because of what others say about them, but because they're made by God. That lines up directly with what the Bible teaches, that every person is created in the image of God. Now, it's important to remember that America has not always lived up to these ideals. There's been times in our history when people were treated unfairly, when injustice was allowed, and when we failed to live according to the truths we claim to believe. It's important to be honest about that, but it's also important to recognize that throughout our history, people have worked, sometimes slowly, sometimes imperfectly, to bring our nation closer to those founding truths. And that's something we can be thankful for. We can also be thankful for the freedoms we enjoy today. We have the freedom to gather for worship, the freedom to open our Bibles, the freedom to speak truth, to live out our faith, and to share the gospel. These are incredible blessings, and they're not guaranteed. There are many people around the world who do not have freedom like us. So when we celebrate America, we're not just celebrating a place on a map. We're giving thanks to God for the gifts He has given to us as Americans. The Bible tells us in James that every good and perfect gift comes from above. That means the freedoms we enjoy are not something we should ever take for granted. Instead, we should receive the gift of liberty with gratitude. Now, of course, celebrating America doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It doesn't mean placing our hope in our country. It means being grateful for what is good, while also asking God to continue to guide, correct, and bless our nation. We know that the strength of any nation doesn't ultimately come from its leaders, its laws, or its economy. It comes from the character of its people. Scripture tells us that righteousness exalts a nation. That means the future of our country depends in part on whether people are living according to God's truth. And that's where families like yours come in. As we prepare to celebrate America's 250th birthday, it's about more than fireworks, parades, or even history lessons. It's about asking a deep question. What kind of people are we going to be? Are we going to be people who tell the truth, who honor God, who treat others with dignity and respect, who use our freedom to do what is right even when it's hard? Because that's how a nation grows stronger. And here's something else to remember. God has been at work in the story of our country. Throughout history, God has been faithful. He has guided nations, raised up leaders, and worked through ordinary people to accomplish His purposes. Think about that. Ordinary people. Farmers, doctors, parents, pastors, teachers, students. All people who chose to do what was right, even when it was hard. God used them, and He can use you too. You may be young, but your choices matter. The way you treat others matters. The way you speak matters. The way you live out your faith matters, because your faithfulness can make a historic impact, even right now. So as we prepare to celebrate America 250, we do so with both gratitude and responsibility. Gratitude for what we've been given, and responsibility for how we live, because the next chapter of our nation's story is being written right now in homes, in churches, and in families like yours. And one day, people will look back and ask, what kind of people were they? Did they stand for truth? Did they honor God? Did they use their freedom wisely? Let's be the kind of people who can answer those questions well. So right now, let's pause for a family conversation. You might ask each other, why do you think it's important to celebrate milestones like America's 250th birthday? What are some blessings we have in our country that we should be thankful for? What does it mean that our rights come from God and not from the government? What kind of people should we be if we want our country to be strong? Now, parents, I want to recommend a special resource for your family, a book called Lessons on Liberty. Let's take a look. Look at this book. This is called Lessons on Liberty.
There are few things as enjoyable as passing the beautiful, timeless truths of America's Christian heritage on to the next generation. That's why Coral Ridge Ministries wants to send you the beautifully illustrated hardcover book, Lessons on Liberty, a primer for young patriots, as our thank you for your generous gift today. Through engaging A to Z lessons, scripture, and fun activities, it's the perfect way to spark a lifelong love for liberty in your children or grandchildren. Even better, when you partner with a generous gift of $100 or more, we'll send a copy to you, and we will gift a second copy to a school library to inspire even more young minds. Scan the QR code, call us, or go online today to share the joy of truth and freedom with the children who will shape our tomorrow.
I want to thank you for spending time with me today on the City of God Families. Don't forget to subscribe so you and your family never miss an episode. And as we prepare to celebrate America's 250th birthday, remember this: God has been faithful for 250 years, and we have the opportunity to live faithfully for Him today. Until next time, give thanks for God's blessings, live with purpose, and be a light in this great nation, right where God has placed you. The City of God podcast is produced by Coral Ridge Ministries and made in partnership with the Institute for Faith and Culture. Visit us at cityofgodpodcast.com to access all of our previous episodes. You can also listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get podcasts. A full video version of this podcast is available on YouTube. This is the City of God podcast, where Christ meets culture.